Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to share my Edge of the Forest build with you. Starting off, we are a Challenger Ritualist using Juggernaut and Deathwish. These just synergize very well with melee. The drip, I would suggest you get one that has high shock resistance. The reason is we are half health and we're very vulnerable to shock damage because we don't have a lot of elemental resistance. For the relic, we're using Broken Heart. This is because we are half health, so using it is a full heal. Synergizing with that as well, it's going to purge any dots off you, which you are weak to, and it's going to proc Bulwark as well. Um, and there's really no drawbacks to this for our build. It's really good. The shards I would suggest are melee damage and speed, as well as health. You could use. I would not suggest using shield. It doesn't scale as well as you would think. For the amulet, we're using a Death's Embrace. This is giving us 25 all damage as well as haste. It's very powerful. To proc it at all times, we're using Restriction Cord. This is keeping our health at 50%, as well as that we're getting 15% damage reduction. Adding to that, we have a Dried Clay Ring. This is giving us 1 permanent bulwark, and since we have a lot of ways to generate bulwark, we can get to 5 very easily, and that will translate into 25 DR, and then half of that will be damage, so 12.5 damage. Helps us with our damage. Since we're half health, we are using Ring of Crisis. What this is doing is once we go below 25, we get 25% of our max health. That is our full health, though not after Death's Embrace. So this is very high value for us. It's almost double the amount that you would have from another build, and since we sit at around 70 to 80% DR, it's very good, and it doesn't seem to have an internal cooldown, so it procs very often, and you can get it back up again with Broken Heart very easily or Life Leech. Last but not least, we're using Brawler's Pride. This is the 15 IAS as well as Crit Chance. You can change this if you like. You can also swap this one out too. There's another ring that, depending on how much health you're missing, it gives you more DR. Forgot the name of it. Give me 1 second. Here it is. Hardened Coil. You could use Hardened Coil if you like instead. You don't have to use Bulwark. Okay, moving on. We're using Sparkfire Shotgun since we are a Ritualist. We do want to get the easy elemental procs. We're using this with Bandit as the dots can refill it, so we can just basically shoot it forever. And we're using Ring of Spears because this scales very well with us being a melee build. It is a melee tagged item, so all of the melee damage goes towards it. Moving on to the spotlight of the build, we're using Edge of the Forest. It's a very fun katana. There's nothing really special going on here. It just has very good stats, high crit, good weak spot. The stagger's not listed here. I believe it's minus 15, but it staggers more than that. I don't know what to say. It definitely is a lot. It's a lot. I think it's because it has so many hits. Like there tends to be a lot of 2 hits in it. Anywho, yeah, we don't have a mod obviously, but what we're using here is Vengeful Strike. This is giving us 50% melee damage when at 50% health all the time basically, and we also get 15 crit. Very high value. It's really enabling this sword. And then we're using a Nebula with Nano Swarm. It synergizes very well with melee. We need sustain. We need something that can take out targets that are flying around. This does both. And then for the mod, we're using Feedback to help us with mod generation. It's kind of a loop here. Pretty good all together here. Moving on, we can't touch these ones obviously, but Fortify helps us with our DR. Kinship helps us with Death Wish so we don't kill ourselves. Strongback's baked in, but it is nice. Swiftness, I highly suggest it. Vigor, I suggest it. Now I've done something here. I've gone Endurance and Recovery because I find that this has a very good moveset, and I like to use the Backstep R2s. It did get buffed back in May 9th. The Backstep R2's got like a 50% scaling, so it's pretty good. Sometimes you want to use it. I like the Recovery and Endurance. You don't have to. If you want to use something else, what I might suggest is obviously Chakra, Gifted are good ones too. Those are going to translate to more damage. I would also suggest Shadeskin. We are very vulnerable to Shocker from aberrations in particular. That will just kill you instantly. I just come to terms that Zeus may claim me. It is what it is, but you may want to put points into that. Just moving on here. Barkskin, we need that. We're low health, so we're trying to get our DR as high as possible. Leech and Siphoner, very high value considering we're half health. This is basically double. Very strong pick here. Now for the Consumable Mudtooth, not super creative here. Let's move on over to the DR, get you a better idea of how tanky you are, because we are half health. When we turn everything on, because we do have shield, we got 615 effective HP. The thing with this guy is it regenerates very easily. Everything's kind of double for it because it's half health. Like Life Leech is very powerful. The Relic instantly heals you and is a fast use. It's very regenerating. However, if you can't get the DR up, you know, at 526, you're gonna have your shield. But however, if it doesn't proc your crisis, if you die in one hit, like you're gone. But otherwise, you will have it because you can get killed through it. You do have second chance though, so it will often proc that. Let me see if I can just disable this and then Bulwark here. Yeah, okay. And then we'll see what the DR is without it. Yep, so without the Juggernaut up, I think we have 0 stacks of Bulwark. No, I have 3 here. What is causing that? I don't know what is causing it. Here we go. Okay, get that down to 1. Sorry, guys. We're looking at 258 effective HP. A little bit scary, but with the shield we're at 387. It is pretty easy to get Bulwark stacks, though. I would also suggest using Sweet Leaf if you're in any kind of danger. Like if you're worried, just pop a Sweet Leaf. Again, it's very easy to use the Relic. You're generally not going to have no bulwarks. It's in your best interest to keep them high. But yeah, that's roughly what you're looking at for the EHP. The regen is a little bit messed up here. I don't quite know how to make this work properly, but you'll have the +2 regen. We don't have any other ways of doing that. And that's about it. It's a fun build. The weapon itself, doing the math for it, it is about, hang on, let me just get that. So just reviewing this here, you can see the numbers here. I had calculated this. I took the crits, the non-crits, and I found the numbers for each hit, and I added this all together to try and factor in what the DPS would be. It seemed to have been 24 hits per 10 seconds. And with the 59% non-crit and 41% crit, I added this all up and then, you know, divided it by 10, and we were looking at about 2k DPS just off the weapon. The mods do about 1500, so we're looking at about 3.5 DPS. It's actually pretty powerful. I was quite impressed with it. It's very fun to use too. I like using katanas. I would suggest it. It's very fun. I'll have some boss fights to showcase it too. Just a heads up, the boss fights are they have very defensive modifiers on them, unfortunately, so it did push it over 2 minutes a little bit, but without those defensive modifiers, it would have been much faster. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the build and enjoy these fights. Take care.